What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the D.O.G podcast. I'm Drew. This is German, and that's OC.
That was well done. Good job,
Thanks.
man.
Wow, there you
Thanks.
go.
That was really cool.
I know. I got a knack for that.
Can you
Yeah?
do it again?
Yeah, do
Right
it one
now?
more time.
Can I get a drum roll?
Go ahead.
No?
Give him the drum roll.
Give
No.
him a drum roll.
What's up, everybody?
No one's beating your drum. Okay.
Okay, just let's get into
Let's
it.
get into it. Let's talk about the World Cup. You guys
Whoop, whoop.
you guys excited for the drawings or for the picks that came out?
Did you watch it?
No, I didn't watch it. I just waited till it came out.
So here I am at work.
Yeah.
I put it on. I was excited. Came on at 8:30.
Yeah.
They didn't start drawing until almost 9:30.
I knew that.
Oh, they did like a big old show
I
about
was
it.
pretty annoyed as hell.
What did
man.
they do to the build up to that?
They brought out all these, like, first off, they brought out this Egyptian lady.
Yeah.
And she spoke for like 10 minutes
About
in
what?
Arabic.
Cleopatra?
I don't know.
Oh, you
I
didn't
don't know. They let her go on air. It was on FS1. They let her
Oh,
go
okay.
for like 2 minutes, and then they cut out. And then they're like, let's have Alexi Lawless talk instead, because who knows what the hell this lady's talking about. And then they had a couple of different boy bands come out. They had some singers, and then a
BTS?
whole lot of production. And it was like, can you guys just pick the teams? That's all we really care about. That's all we're watching for.
What boy bands was it?
I don't know. They weren't American. They're
No?
Middle Eastern, dude.
Oh, Middle Eastern. dude?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah,
because
yeah,
of
yeah.
like Qatar or whatever.
Yeah.
The Middle Eastern
Qatar.
Yeah.
country.
What's the pronunciation? Is it Qatar? Qatar?
I don't know.
I think Americans say Qatar, but I've heard Europeans say Qatar.
Yeah.
Qatar.
Yeah.
Qatar. I've never heard that before.
World Cup.
Honestly.
Well, we're not
Well,
European.
I mean, the
so-
World Cup's coming. I mean, to what was it, like a borderline slave labor to build the stadiums
okay.
in Qatar?
You bring up a great topic. So now
Uh-huh.
that Andrew's talking about the show, right? Apparently there was like the night before they did like a kind of like an intro, like a
little dress rehearsal.
yeah. But like they let like a couple people of like prominence speak.
Yeah.
Before the delegates of each country, right? And I guess the Norwegian director
Yeah.
for FIFA got up there and was like just like ripping the FIFA
Really?
for
for
and
allowing
the
all
Middle
that.
Eastern countries
Uh-huh.
for their like their what is it, their laws against like gay people,
Oh,
like
okay. Yeah.
LGBTQ community.
Mm-hmm.
Like, and she was like ripping them a new one.
Yeah.
Like you guys, like, how are you gonna have a World Cup with the country that is against people of LGBTQ, and you guys are gonna host it? Not to mention like all the people that died building these stadiums, and you guys don't even give a
And
damn.
didn't they lie about like the amount of deaths that they
Yeah.
had like in the stadiums? And
What
stuff?
is this, Mexico?
Well, along the lines of
Way
that,
worse
like,
than Mexico.
yeah, this is like tens of thousands of people, I think,
Yeah.
right? And I guess like they kept trying to like cut her off or something, like.
Really?
But like, I guess like it was like the guy that was in the room that wrote about it. When I was reading his article, he was like, it was an eerie feeling. Like people didn't know whether to clap or to like, because I guess the delegates from the Middle Eastern countries were pissed off.
Really?
Yeah.
No, well, I mean, I would imagine you're kind of just
That doesn't shock me.
because I know. Well, the whole point of this was for them to like, what is it? Celebrate diversity, right? That's why they were the whole point of like hosting it in a Middle Eastern country. Like wasn't that like one of the?
It's the first Arabic country to host.
Yeah, like that was the whole point of the World Cup is like, oh, we want to see different countries host it. Like, you know, that was the whole thing of like taking it to like Brazil and to Russia, who the other day I saw that they proposed to host the next World Cup after the I think it was the 2031, and they presented to host it. So I mean,
Qatar?
no, Russia.
Russia.
Oh,
Yeah, they're proposing to be one the host country.
What?
Yeah,
The
get the fuck out of
the
here.
Ukrainian delegate, I was also reading.
They're gonna host a game in the Ukraine.
the guy that was representing the Ukraine, I guess, like sent like a video message because he
Yeah.
couldn't be there, obviously, and like,
Uh-huh.
I guess like they were like building sandbags things behind him.
yeah.
And like he sent his video in and just like, yeah, we don't condone the actions of Russia. And I guess the Russian delegate was like, yeah, I know that guy. We've worked for years, but I regret that he feels that way. I'm just like, bro, like he did not back down. I was just like, damn, these two countries hate each
but
other.
at the same time, I mean, if you back down, what's it like when he goes home?
True.
That's true too.
Like, you got to think that this guy's actually
Because
like,
you're doing it
he's
out in
got
public and everything.
He's got some source of power, right? If he's a FIFA delegate in Russia,
Yeah.
I'm sure he's met Putin before, handful of times.
For sure.
He knows Putin. Putin knows this guy.
Yeah.
Better not speak out if Putin's in your pocket.
Well, it's interesting how they suspended the team from qualifying, right?
Yeah.
But they let the delegates still go.
Still go
the
to
federation was still
yeah.
represented at the FIFA
Hypocrisy.
drawing.
Why do you think that is? Why do you think they let them? Just money, huh? Yeah. Like who benefits from it mostly? Like to get that money.
Gianni was his name. Gianni, the guy that's the president of FIFA.
Oh, really? Yeah, he benefits from it.
Well, I'm guessing he's the guy in charge, right?
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. Oh man, that's crazy. I saw that. Who's that? Comedian Andre, where it has the meme where he like shoots the dude in the back. And then at the bottom is where it's Russia shooting Ukraine, and at the bottom is like, "You guys want to play soccer at my place later?" I was like, "Dude, that's hilarious that they would freaking do that." But yeah, it's interesting, like the whole stuff that's going on in the Middle East with Qatar, and then them bringing it there. And you remember that was with the old FIFA president. What was his name? Blatter.
Sepp Blatter.
Yeah. Well, wasn't it like a bunch of corruption that they poured a bunch of money? Mm-hmm. It was that they found out that a bunch of FIFA delegates took bribes in order to make sure that the host country was going to be Qatar. Mm-hmm. And then there was a bunch of controversy behind it too, because then now we have to play the World Cup in the winter versus the summer, because it gets to like 120 degrees in Qatar, and then Qatar is using pretty much slave labor in order to build these stadiums. And then, like you said, now with like the anti-gay laws that they have in the Middle East, that's insane, right? Yeah.
I'm kind of interested to see how like the whole schedule with everyone's domestic team and the World Cup kind of like works, because this is like a straight month of international play.
Well, they're pushing the start of the season in Europe forward. So instead of
in August, it's going to be in July.
It's going to be like early August. Because usually it starts like late August.
A couple weeks.
Yeah. So they're just going to move it up a couple weeks, and then and then of course they're going to take the break. Yeah, extend the international break, and then when they resume, everything's going to be pushed back a little bit.
Because they usually end like right around like the week before Christmas, right? They'll stop for Christmas.
Yeah, typically. Yeah. Well, I mean,
no, because they play on
Boxing Day, the day after Christmas.
Boxing Day is huge in Europe.
Yeah. So
it's like Christmas Day games here, huh?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah,
it's like NBA games on Christmas Day.
So then what? They get like New Year's off usually? They
stop no. They really don't stop during the holidays.
So they just keep going?
They just keep going.
So in England, because I remember Pep complaining about it when in England the last couple weeks of December, it's when they like fit like 6 games into that schedule, where it's like Boxing Day, and then a couple days later there'll be another game, and then a couple days before New Year's. Double up? Yeah. And I remember him complaining about it, saying like, "Hey, our guys are gonna get messed up. Like, this is why people don't stay healthy." And then he talked about like, because people were complaining about Manchester City buying so many superstar players, and he was like, "Well, the amount of games we play in England, you have to." He said it's completely different from like playing games in Spain or Germany. In England, because you got to do the Premier League, you got to do the FA Cup, the Carabao Cup, and then worry about European football all at the same time. Like, that's a lot of soccer.
Unless you're Manchester United, you don't got to worry about it.
You don't have to worry. And then you lose early, and then you don't have to worry about anything.
What are those?
You just worry about Premier League.
I mean, we can't even do that, man. I don't even think we're going to make it top 4 this year, man.
It's
Europa League. Cold nights in the torn down Ukraine.
I don't think we're going to have games in Ukraine for a little while, man.
The only thing exciting I see, like, about the scheduling I sent it to these guys.
Yeah.
It starts November 21st is the first game, which is perfect because it's like Thanksgiving break. It's like the first Monday of Thanksgiving break.
Oh, that's right.
And then the final is December 18th, so the Saturday before Christmas, like exactly a week before Christmas is the final. So it's a pretty good time, I guess.
So it works out when people are like off school and stuff?
Yeah, because like I was looking at the game times, like
they're going to be like at... it's like the latest is like 11 a.m. here, Pacific.
U.S. men's national team, all their group stage are 11 a.m.
11 a.m.
Pacific.
Kind of bummer for me.
Yeah, I know for us to have to work during the day.
It sucks, but I'll be on Christmas break.
You on Christmas break.
Or Thanksgiving break.
Damn teacher life.
You're going to catch like 1 game though. Maybe 2 games?
Yeah, 2 because they extend into the next week.
Because then there's some games that are like at 3 a.m. Like
Mexico, I think, has a 7 a.m.
Yeah, there's 7 a.m. games here.
Someone in Qatar did talk about how they really tried to appease the American crowd on how the Americans actually are the most traveling fans out there, despite us being complete shit for a lot of games. So I think that they're actually really like tried to make sure that Americans can watch.
We have ratings here.
Yeah.
Well, that's the thing is that, I mean, it drives the revenue up. I mean, the U.S. This is where money comes from. That's why everybody's exchange rate.
One of them talked about how he was actually like thrilled that the U.S. qualified because it brings a whole lot of
bunch
fans.
of viewers.
Well, the amount of money that like FS1 or whoever's being like the co-sponsor that they invest into the World Cup. Yeah. You better give us the latest games because our people are not waking up.
But it's crazy because I saw it and it was like the local times there for the latest games is 10 p.m.
Well,
It's like they're local, and then like the game before that's at 7, and then the earliest game there is 6. Like that's all. I was like, man, I saw that and I was like, that's what I noticed. I was like, man, they're really appeasing people in the West because that's where the money's coming from, right?
We're the ones sponsoring.
Exactly.
Event.
They talked about how they're excited too because the next 3 host countries, right? It's a trio. It's Canada, U.S., and Mexico, all qualified for this World Cup. So it's actually like money wise, it's a good revenue base to kind of build into to the next World Cup.
That's what brings me to the next thing. How did you guys like? Let's start with USA's group.
I love it.
You like it?
I like it.
I really like it for them.
I think they're going to be able to squeeze through into the next round for sure.
Yeah, I think so.
Because if you look at whoever wins between Ukraine, Scotland, or Wales, I think they can. Well, I mean Wales. The way Gareth Bale played this last game, I was like, okay, they're probably going to qualify.
But then
just given the way he played,
there's one Gareth Bale and there's 10 other Welshmen.
Well, they have Aaron Ramsey there. Then he's pretty. Yeah, I mean,
Scotland is 6-1-1 in their last 8 meetings against Wales.
That's true. Yeah, and then Scotland. Scott players were well-rounded squad.
Billy Gilmore.
Yeah, I didn't understand how big the Scotland-England rivalry was.
Yeah, they hate each other
until the Euros.
Yeah,
and then, like I saw like when they played each other, and I was just like, oh, like these guys don't like each other. Like not just soccer, like country.
No, they hate each other. Yeah.
I'm kind of rooting for Scotland again.
I used to train a guy. I used to train an Indian guy who was born in London, and we were talking about it. And then I don't know how it came up, but he was. I think I brought up Scotland. I think we were talking about soccer. And he goes, "Fuck those dudes."
Damn.
No, because he's a Liverpool fan, and that's where we're talking.
London?
Yeah, because he was born in London.
This was before their rise to the top.
No, yeah, he was a guy in the 60s.
Oh, damn.
Yeah, so he's a lot older, and we were talking about what's that left back or that right back, Andy Robinson, the Scottish guy from Liverpool. I think that's how it came up. I think he was like, "Fuck that dude." I was like, "Why?" Because he's Scottish. I was like, oh, Jesus Christ! I did not know that.
Yeah,
and then he kind of filled me in and like the little rivalry that they have there.
You got the groups right there?
Yeah, I got them all right here.
Let's go. So Group A, dude. The host country always gets the cake groups.
I don't think there's really one group, the group of death. This year, I mean, they're all fairly.
They're pretty straightforward because I mean, Group A, you have Senegal, Netherlands, Qatar, and Ecuador. Senegal's pretty good, dude.
Yeah,
and then of course the Netherlands, which they're probably going to win the group.
You can argue Group C is the group of death with
Van
Mexico.
Nistelrooy still playing?
Yeah, weapon.
Is Van Nistelrooy still playing?
Van Nistelrooy? No, that was like 20 years ago. But yeah, and then Group B, England, Iran, USA, and then whoever wins that playoff. But I
like the U.S.
if
chances.
If USA, because in the World Cup there was always that formula. It's like you win one, you draw one, and you lose one. That'll get you to the next round.
Get you in.
That'll squeeze because that's kind of the formula that like Mexico's always followed, right?
I think they can draw against England. I think it'll need to be a good game. I think they can draw against England.
I think they need to play on the offensive.
That game is set up for a Saturday morning.
England?
Yeah. Well, I think Friday morning, the day after Thanksgiving. So,
oh, for real?
Yeah.
Well, the last time they played each other in the World Cup, I think it was a draw, right? I think it was like in the 2010.
Yeah, that keeper fucked up. I don't remember.
Joe Hart. Joe Hart.
That's the only way I remember that. He was a Man City goalie, right?
Yeah.
Before Man City was like super big. Yeah. And then they pushed him out. But then I think who was it? Steven Gerrard, I think the one that scored the goal. But I
over
think,
England.
but I think England back then, like they suck. Like they had a bunch of star players, but none of them liked playing with each
It's
other.
a lot of me ball.
They were all rivals because they all played. They were all at the heights of like Liverpool, Chelsea, and United, and they all just hated each other.
Yeah, I think that's a game that the U.S. can get a point off of. England is like Euros. They're super good, and the
Yeah.
next thing you know, they're like, "What the hell is going on with you guys?"
But I think they're playing well enough. I think they're going to be able to win the group.
Yeah, I think that because I think
Iran kind of worries me a little bit.
I am not afraid of Iran.
No, because I've seen some of Iran's games when I think it was the last World Cup or the one before that, where it's interesting to see. It's like they're kind of big dudes. Like, yeah, they suck, but they're big and they're athletic guys.
The
and
bigger they are, the more Christian Pulisic gets fouled.
And that's the thing is like a lot of the players in the U.S. are so undersized. Like Pulisic, even
Yeah, but I mean,
Gio Reyna, he looks like he weighs like 110 pounds.
that's fine. Pulisic finds a way to get those fouls called for him.
Yeah.
He gets fouled like 4 or 5 times a game.
Yeah.
Number of set pieces for the U.S.
But I think they can squeeze out a win. What about Group C, man? Argentina, Saudi Arabia, Mexico, and Poland.
If you're Saudi Arabia, you're like, well, shit.
Yeah, I mean that kind of sucks for them.
Well, shit.
You got to go against Messi. You got to go against
Lewandowski.
Lewandowski.
And then your little break is against Mexico, who beat Germany in the last World Cup. And was very successful in the 2014 World Cup. And it's kind of like, well,
Are you guys worried about Mexico at all in that group?
No.
No, not at
No.
all. Not even a little bit.
No.
Like the worst. Like I'm sitting there because obviously like I'll root for Mexico, and I'm sitting there. I go, this is the worst possible draw that they could have got. You got Messi and Lewandowski in the same. Group.
Well, that's what I mean. It's
no Mexican is stopping Lewandowski. I'll tell you that right now.
no. Well, that's what I mean. Are you guys worried about them not being able to win?
I don't know
in
if
that
they can
group?
get out of the group.
They won't get.
Yeah,
out the
that's what
group.
I was gonna.
They'll
That's
beat
what I
Saudi
was trying to get
Arabia.
at.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and that's the only good thing. Like Andrew says, like the good thing about Mexico is they get to play Saudi Arabia first, so maybe they can
It
get
gets
3
the
points
gets the
early.
ball
Okay,
rolling.
so
Yeah.
so
Right away.
you're hoping that are you hoping then that Poland loses to Argentina because Mexico's not going to be Argentina, right?
No.
Your best bet to move on is to beat.
Your best
Poland?
bet is to get a draw. So they play Saudi Arabia first, and then I
And
think
then
it's a Tuesday, and
Argentina
then
next.
Argentina second. So then you're gonna.
So you're gonna have to hope for a draw against Poland.
So both teams
Yes.
might go into that game, Poland and Mexico. It might be only have one win against.
But you're going to want Argentina to beat Poland then,
Oh,
right?
yeah,
So
for sure.
Poland gets no points, and then you
Yeah.
can get that win against Saudi Arabia.
But you
Hope
have to
for the-
score a lot of goals.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's gonna be the thing too. Is that goal
Hey,
difference?
Lewandowski can go off against Saudi Arabia and completely screw you guys.
That's what worries me.
He's-
Hey, but
he's
are we
gonna score
gonna
like
get
4
World Cup
goals.
Ochoa? Ochoa steps up in the
The
World
fact
Cup.
that he's still around.
That's
dude,
why I was like,
I'm
I don't like. I mean, there's so many other options that are available in Mexico, and then
But
they
the thing,
still
the-
keep bringing
the
them up.
goalkeeper in Mexico, like over the last 20 years in the World Cup, it's always some old dude. Like
Yeah,
Ochoa
because
in
I remember
2014 was,
they had.
like already past his prime. They're still using him. Like he had a
Yeah,
crazy.
But
that's
World
he
Cup.
had a great World Cup.
Yeah, I know, but that was like an outlier. What
Yeah,
has he
but
done
he
since?
did-
That was.
I don't
that
watch
was
him
a
in
high-
domestic league, but I mean, even international, it seems like he
He's
does
not
pretty
good in the
good.
domestic league.
No, I think that World Cup was the height of his career. I think because before him it was Osvaldo Sanchez, right? And
I don't know.
yeah, okay, so he was
It's always
a
older
really
guys.
good goalkeeper for many years. He was part of that Mexico golden generation with like Rafa Marquez, Cuauhtemoc
Yeah.
Blanco, So when he finally retired, well, I think before that there was Copa America, where after they won the Gold Cup, Osvaldo went back to go play for his club, or he went on vacation or whatever, and that's when Ochoa was a young Ochoa. He stepped up and he played lights out, but then he never recaptured that form up until that World Cup, because he even went to go play in France, and then nothing ever
Yeah.
came from that, and then came back to Mexico. And
He was in the top tier in France, though, wasn't he? I thought he was second division.
I think
no, it was
the first or
League
second?
One.
It was like
It was League One, but it was
he was playing like for some bum team.
for bum team, dude, with a bunch of farmers. And this is before PSG, is what it
Became
was and
PSG,
became
yeah.
PSG, and like brought so much attention back to the French league, because before PSG, like the French, nothing was coming out of the French league.
No.
I mean, the only other team was, I think, Monaco. I think that was the only other big team, and then Marseille. That was it. So he wasn't even playing against like top class players or anything like that. And then he couldn't make it. He just never panned out.
All right, can I ask you guys a question?
Yeah.
So can Messi and Argentina pull it off, or
The win, World Cup win.
Like go all the way.
That's interesting. Well, that's what I was gonna ask you guys. I mean, okay, well,
because I did some research last night. So.
Oh, okay.
I'm gonna say no.
I don't think so.
They're older.
I don't think they have what it takes.
I went back to the 98 World Cup, right? So I went 98, 2002, 06, 10, 14, and 18. So last 6 World Cups, the winner of the World Cup 3 times out of the 6 World Cup or the last 6 World Cups has come out of Group C. Not that it means anything, but it's just like I was just like very interesting though.
So
like,
Mexico's got a chance.
Saudi Arabia's got a chance too.
Saudi Arabia's odds just went up.
Lewandowski finally might be able to do something.
Groups A and B have not won it in that span, so I'm just like, all right, A and B's out.
I don't think anybody from Group A or B is going to win it. I don't think England's going to win it.
You don't believe in the U.S., bro?
You go USA, baby. USA.
U.S. Mint.
Maybe I mean, they might be more dangerous than the next one. Which brings me to my next thing. Canada, dude. What do you guys think about Canada's group? They're with Belgium, Morocco, and Croatia. I think they can ski. I think they can sneak in.
Morocco's, I mean, I'm not saying they're good. I think that's a terrible grouping for Morocco because Canada's pretty good. I don't think that they're going to beat Croatia.
You don't think so?
No.
Croatia's not as good as they last time when they made it to the World Cup final.
Well, they made the comment yesterday. They like Canada's chances because it's an aging Croatian group.
Yeah, because even the last World Cup they were all really old. Modric, he's like 36.
Luka Modric and Kovacic are both still dominating in the European game.
Yeah, but the squad.
I'm gonna take them.
No, what we're taking is like the squad around them isn't all that great. That's what I was trying to say. Fine. And then last time they weren't even that great either. I mean, they were able to.
I'm taking Croatia over Canada.
Then Belgium too. Belgium hasn't been playing all that well either.
I think they're at the point where I'm like,
who's the top ranked team?
Brazil.
Brazil's number 1.
Yeah, they just overcame Belgium a couple days ago.
Belgium's number 2 now.
Dude, I was listening to
I don't get it. I don't get
World Cup odds, and they're like, oh, Brazil's the odds-on favorite. I'm like, dude, they didn't even beat Argentina in the
Neymar's ass
in the Conan Bowl.
Neymar is one of the top name players. I think is the furthest over his prime.
Yeah, this isn't the Brazil of 15 years ago where you had
Ronaldo,
Kaká, and all
probably
those guys,
the greatest team ever assembled.
Yeah, and it's like I don't get where they're not dominating.
So here are the rankings. So it's number 1, Brazil, Belgium, France, Argentina number 4, England at 5. Italy at 6, which nobody's got to worry about them anymore.
Who's that?
Yeah. Spain at 7, Portugal at 8, Mexico at 9, and Netherlands at 10.
How is Mexico?
I don't know how Mexico is that high. I didn't think they were going to be that high.
They're what?
They can't even beat the U.S.
They're over the Netherlands. Denmark at 11, Germany at 12.
Wait. You said Mexico's at what?
9.
They're the 9th team in the world?
They're above Germany and the Netherlands. Yep.
I support LG.
You're gonna have
USA. I don't support that.
USA's 15.
You're gonna have the 9th team in the world not make it out of the group stage.
I don't know how they do these rankings.
It wouldn't surprise me. Well, I mean, the 6th ranked team in the world couldn't even qualify.
Yeah, exactly. So I don't know how they do these rankings. I mean, there's some type of points. Maybe it goes into their win percentage. Maybe that's what's going on there.
Maybe it's because they finished in 2nd in CONCACAF and US finished 3rd.
Yeah, exactly. And then I don't know how Brazil is that high because I mean they don't have the best overall squad. I still think France is probably going to make a run because of how well those guys play together.
So you bring up a good topic because I was already visualizing the bracket and then I started looking. I'm like, okay, so if you finish I was looking at Mexico and Argentina's group, you finish first in Group C, right?
Yeah.
You play 2nd place in Group D.
Yeah.
So I'm like, okay, Mexico somehow qualifies and finishes in 2nd place. They're going to play 1st place in
France.
Group D. And I'm like, oh, my God.
France.
Hey, they beat France one time in the World Cup.
Hey,
I think it was in South Africa.
Bro?
Who does 2nd place in Group B play?
I think it goes, they play A.
Yeah, so it'll most likely be Senegal.
Ooh.
So if A goes against B, yeah, it's going to be Senegal.
C plays D, right?
Yeah.
Hey, the Usment move into the Elite 8?
They might.
If they can make it that far, dude, I think that's an absolute
a successful
win.
World Cup.
It's an absolute win.
Hey,
It's a successful World Cup.
Because that's the farthest they've made it, right? It was the quarterfinals.
Hey, they have Canada's odds to move out of the group right now as plus 1,300. They have the worst.
Worse
odds.
than Morocco?
Worse than Morocco. No one believes in Canada.
I think if people are sleeping on Canada because
I'm
the
gonna
last
take a flyer on that, dude.
because I think the only
Alphonso Davies,
the only
Come on,
other
let's
time
go.
they qualified for the World Cup was in '86. Sorry, and then there it was in
Told you you burp
'86.
a lot.
Yeah,
edit.
Mid sentence.
And then they were the worst performing team of that World Cup in Mexico.
I like Canada, not their World Cup. Next World Cup, I think they show out.
With Alphonso Davies.
Yes.
I mean, he's one of the best players at his positions right now.
Yeah.
At left back, he's like a world class player. Jonathan Davis, he's building up a little bit
I just
more.
don't
he's
love
he's
the
a good
group.
solid striker.
I just don't love their grouping for them to
having
win
to
it.
play against Morocco, who's a solid squad. Croatia's solid, and then Belgium's one of the best teams in the world. Yeah, it's gonna be tough.
How do we like Ronaldo's chances? Pretty.
I like him. I think
Ghana, Uruguay, South Korea.
Ghana has a knack for
that's cool.
like,
That's cool to
upsetting
see.
teams.
That's cool to see. Suarez, Song, and Ronaldo on the same group. That's gonna be cool.
Yeah, I like. I think they put that matchup too as like the marquee matchup: Portugal, Uruguay.
Yeah, that's gonna be a fun one.
I think it's gonna be on a weekend, like on a Sunday or something.
Yeah, because Uruguay. I mean, they're always a solid group
that
too.
Germany-Spain game is on the weekend too.
Oh, that's right. That's
It's
another,
like-
Spain's gonna win.
that's another thing, dude. I wouldn't sleep on Spain either. They always perform really well.
I'm not high on Germany this year. They're still playing Timo Werner and they're starting.
But they
lineup.
always make it somehow, don't they?
No,
Who, Spain?
they didn't. They got bounced last year or 4 years ago.
Did they really?
Yeah, they
didn't
didn't
make
make
it.
it out of the group.
Mexico beat
took
'em.
them out, huh?
Yeah,
But I just feel like they always have a knack for these competitions, though. Like the Euros, how did they perform?
Well, I think it's just the playing style for Germany. It's
Not great.
they're starting
They got
to
bounced, huh?
age out because I remember seeing.
Is
They're
it just
not-
like the name brand that
they're
have?
not the 14
so it's
Germany
just,
anymore.
It's just
Is it
the system that they have been playing for years that was super dominant is starting to age out. So in soccer, there's always like new systems that are coming in, and like the playing styles that start dominating. Remember, it was like Spain with the
So it's just a
tiki-taka
name
or
then.
whatever.
So-
Yeah,
so
I mean
then-
they have superstar players. They have really well-rounded players. Like all of them are technically sound, but I think it's just the playing style and then the way that their manager puts it together, which is it's just not working.
So then, can
They
we
still
say
got that same manager that sniffs his crotch.
Yeah, they still have
So
them.
then, can we say that like Germany is a victim of the same thing that Brazil's going through? Like, it's just a name brand, so people think like, oh, it's Germany, Brazil, so they should be in it.
I think so.
But they haven't really done anything.
Well, I mean, they're still the thing is that they still have world-class players. That kind of brings me a little bit to like
Dude,
okay, let me finish.
Okay. All right.
So it kind of brings me to
Hey, can you let him finish?
yeah. Come on, man. It kind of brings me to Canada. So I was looking into Canada into like how they were growing so much. They don't have the greatest players, but they have an organization that knows how to put it all together. So the guy who's their manager right now, and he's pretty much the head of all soccer in Canada. Like he makes all the decisions all the way down to like the under 14s. He was the same guy that put it all together for the women's international team. So and then they won like bronze medal.
The Canadian women national
Yeah. So when you have something like that, and then you pair that with great players, with really talented players, you can really put a team together. That's what I feel like Brazil and Germany are lacking, is somebody up top who knows how to put it all together.
Because they got like the old regime still.
And then I saw a thing where Sir Alex Ferguson, he said you have to reset your squad every 4 years. That's just the way it is. It's just like how much changes in 4 years, the playing styles, the players, how they grow up or they age out, or you get new talent coming in.
Good. Put Mexico
Yeah.
in that group too, because they don't change
Because
anything.
they don't change anything. It's the same thing.
It's Sunday league.
Because I saw another thing. It was like there's no excuse for Mexico not to be a powerhouse in soccer. Like they should be winning trophies left and right, but they're not. I mean, their top athletes all go play soccer just like everybody else in the world.
And no one talks about how they dip into two talent pools. They got Mexico is on lock for them, but they also got so many kids here in the U.S. that are from Mexican
that go over there and go
parents,
play. Yeah.
that could have dual citizenship, so they can pick kids from here if they
Yeah.
wanted to.
And then I saw another thing where it was just a lot of it has to do with the attitude and mentality in Mexico.
Yeah.
where, I mean, we talked about it before.
It's a lot like that Chivas mentality.
It's arrogance.
The arrogance, but also too, like a lot of them don't face adversity very well. And like we were talking,
that's how they come back.
Exactly.
To Mexican League.
Yeah, because when they don't succeed in Europe, they just chalk it up somebody else's fault, and then they just come back. Yeah. Exactly. And then we talked about how a lot of those Mexican players, like a lot of this new generation, a lot of them grew up with money. A lot of them, they had like their parents play, like they grew up with money. If you look at a lot of other countries, a lot of players that are super successful, a lot of them grew up poor.
Yeah.
Right? Like if you look at like a bunch of guys from Brazil, all of them grew up poor.
Think about Gabriel Jesus.
Yeah, even the guys from England too. A lot of them grew up poor. You know, and then you guys.
So the U.S. needs to start looking for some bum ass high schools. Where's your best player?
Like that dude Santiago from that movie Goal.
But they invest. They like, even if you come from low income, they invest in you, right?
Yeah,
and because like you said, Mexico doesn't. Like it's like it's a good old boys league.
Who's
your dad? Okay,
it's following the same pattern that it's going into here, which is like you have to have money in order to play.
Yeah.
So you have to pay to play. And a lot of European countries, the club pays for it all. So you just go, if you're good enough to make the youth academy, you're good enough to go.
If you got the talent.
Yeah. Like look at like someone like Raheem Sterling, who was an immigrant from Jamaica, and his mom just moved over there just by herself, not a single cent, and he's able to go through the academy at Liverpool and then move up the rankings and all that. And then imagine if he would have came over here to the U.S.
Having to pay for $350 jerseys and backpacks.
Exactly. That would have not happened.
No.
Exactly. You know? And so like we have, I feel like in the US and in Mexico, there's a bunch of talent out there. But like you said, it's just we don't invest in it.
No.
So the US is kind of funny because in the political sense, the government always expects us to help out the little man, right? We're always having to, whether it's taxes or all these reforms where we end up having to help the poor with WIC and stuff like that, right? The less fortunate. When it comes to sports, complete opposite. It's like an elite society where you have to be able to, have to be able to afford to play.
Well, yeah.
And on the international stage, it's the opposite.
But isn't it kind of like if we can like use the baseball MLB team started investing in the Dominican, right? They started building schools, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So the opportunities are there. It's just like, does MLS, does like these big like leagues, do they want to invest in the youth? You know?
Mm-hmm.
But like you said, it's like it's a good old boys league. It's like, oh well, if you can afford it, then yeah, you're good. You're in.
I feel like that's kind of how like sports have been in the U.S. in general. Because if you look back at how, for example, how football started, right? It was like a bunch of guys from like Yale and Princeton,
it was like East
all
Coast.
Rich little white boys who got together and started throwing the ball around. And then I saw something where it was like, well, now, and then it was like the NCAA was born because then every other college was wanting to do it. And then they had like regular folk trying to do it. So so a bunch of those rich guys were like, okay, well, we're going to do other sports. Yeah. It was just like something to exclude them from like the poor people or whatever.
Yeah.
And then that's how they came up with lacrosse.
Yeah. And it was like a bunch of other sports, or I think it was, they started golfing more. That's
hey.
You know, but I feel like that's how, like, I feel like sports in America has always been. It's like like certain sports are like a privileged man's game until everybody else starts doing it, and then they go on to do something else.
Yeah, makes sense.
You know. So I feel like kind of soccer is still kind of like that right now, because I mean, if it's a lot easier, the threshold to get into basketball or to get into football versus trying to get into baseball or soccer, right? Like I feel like the threshold's a little bit lower because then you can go play for the school, you know, and then if you're really good, the college will bring you up or whatever. But then
you get seen
in soccer. There's no men's soccer in NCAA, right? Like it's not as big as women's soccer.
No, not nearly.
Yeah, it doesn't get the limelight like college football or college basketball.
Like basketball.
They start sending him to go play professionally. The best players start to go play professionally.
Pulisic went to Germany when he was like 17.
Yeah,
like I feel like
it's the right thing to do. Honestly, if the U.S. team wants to compete on an international stage, their teenagers need to go play professionally.
But
Don't go to college.
But that's what I mean. We're still talking about. It's just it's only because his dad had the means, the funds to send him to go play in Germany. You know.
Yeah, I mean, how many people can afford to send their kid to Europe?
You know.
But I mean, even then, I mean, that's when the MLS is starting to adapt a little bit more and start investing into the youth a little bit more. I mean, there's a couple of local kids that are playing in San Jose, right, for their second team. So yeah, I don't know.
And that brings me to my next point about Canada is like they're starting to follow that European model, where it's just, I guess I saw a statistic the other day where it's just like a majority of kids, young kids, like between like 12 and 18, like 60% of the boys are playing soccer versus hockey. Like it's
really,
like it's
in Canada.
Yeah, and then it's like it's the same thing. It's like the clubs are being paid for. You know, a lot of those kids don't have to actually pay to play, and then it's less equipment that you have to pay for, like compared to hockey, and then compared to American football.
All you need is cleats for soccer.
Yeah, so Canada's.
You don't even really need that.
So that's what I was like. That mentality of the building from the bottom up from Europe has come over to Canada, and I feel like that's why they're building up the way it is. You know,
60% of
it's
teenagers.
really high. It's like a majority of kids.
That's crazy.
Yeah. It's insane. I saw that. I read that, and I was like, "Oh shit! I did not know that."
All right, so let's go. Can we go back to the groups?
But Canada also has a lower percentage or a lower population than California. So,
yeah, but I mean, hockey was born in Canada.
Yeah,
that's crazy. That's like them picking basketball over soccer in England.
Let's finish the World Cup. Who do you guys think is gonna?
Well, I just have the bracket right here. That's why.
Okay, go ahead.
So, winners of Group A play the runners-up of Group B. So,
Yes.
Oh, that's a cakewalk. If the U.S.
Come on, Qatar.
I don't know, but and they obviously winners of Group C play Group D. So potentially Argentina against whoever finishes second behind France.
I feel like the last three groups are the toughest groups, like Group F, G, and H.
Okay, so Portugal would probably win H, right? Yeah or no?
Probably. I mean,
so it says they would play the runners up of Group G. Who would potentially be the runner up in Group G? You got it right there.
But yeah, Brazil. Brazil will probably win the group, but then you have Serbia, Switzerland, and Cameroon. Which that's what I mean. I was like, that's kind of a tough group there to get second.
It is, actually,
because I mean, Serbia's got a solid squad. They always perform really well. Switzerland, same thing.
Switzerland.
And then Cameroon, too. I would like, don't sleep on those African nations,
the African teams always have, like, they're always, like, in it. Like, they don't get blown
They have
out.
some good quality players. And it's the same thing we talk about. It's like, how are, like, so many teams from Africa, so many players from Africa being able to, like, go to Europe, migrate to Europe, and then they go play over there and develop in those other countries.
Sadio Mane plays for Senegal.
Yeah. With Edouard Mendy.
Mm-hmm. So it's just like those African nations, don't sleep on them too. And then if you think about it, man, France borderline an African country. Like those players, a lot of those players grew up poor in the slums of Paris, from immigrant parents from Africa, and they were able to go win a World Cup. So
all right, so you guys want to start with Group A and pick our first and second, go all the way down?
Yeah, go ahead. We do it fast. There's some other stuff I want to get into.
Okay.
Group A, I got Netherlands winning with Senegal coming on second.
I agree.
OC?
Yeah.
All right.
Same thing.
Group B, I got England winning, United States second.
Okay.
Yeah.
Group C, I got Argentina winning, Poland second.
Yeah, I agree. Sadly, I agree. I really wish Mexico. If Mexico can play well, at least against Poland, and get
I'll
a draw.
Mexico just based off of my head. Yeah. Second place. So we can get scraped off in the second round.
All right, Group D, I got France winning. And then I'm going to go with, this is a tough one. I'm going to go with Denmark.
Yeah, I'll stick with Denmark.
Okay.
How's that tough? Tunisia's not even really.
Yeah, but I mean,
they still have
play-in.
another team, that's going to fall into that.
Okay, Group E. I'm going to go with Spain winning, Germany in second.
Yeah, I'll take that.
Group F, I got Belgium winning, Croatia second.
Yeah, I think we'll go Belgium and Canada.
Okay.
I'll go with German, Belgium, Canada.
All right, Group G, I got Brazil and then Switzerland.
I think I'm going to go with Brazil and Cameroon. I think Cameroon can edge them out.
I'm going to go Brazil and Serbia.
Okay.
All right.
That's a tough group, huh? I told you guys. Yeah.
That one's
I think it's tough because there's not like no clear second. I mean, like clearly Brazil is going to win this group, but then it's a coin flip between those three teams.
Yeah.
Okay, Group H. I'm going to go Portugal and Uruguay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What, you think Ghana can sneak out there? Are you looking at South Korea?
I kind of like South Korea, man. I think South Korea, because I mean they played pretty decent in the last World Cup.
Can we pick a winner? Overall winner?
Overall winner?
Brazil, number 1 odds. France, 2nd. England, 3rd. Spain, 4th. Germany, 5th.
I'm gonna pick Where's who. Belgium? I'm going Belgium.
I'm gonna pick who I want to win, and then I'm gonna pick who's probably gonna win.
Okay.
So I really want Portugal to win.
Okay.
Because I feel like they can sneak up on a lot of teams.
Tell me you love Ronaldo without telling me you love Ronaldo.
No, I mean they're a good squad, but I do think France is probably gonna win.
You got France going back to back?
Wow. I think so. I mean, England too. I'm torn, honestly.
You got England in the conversation?
Yeah, dude. The thing is, I'm pretty torn, man. And then
so hold on.
And then then you can't sleep on Spain either.
You're saying that you think the United States could tie England, and then you're also picking England to be an outlier to win the World Cup.
I didn't say the U.S. can tie against England. Well, I didn't say like they're going to tie against England. I feel like they could. They really have to play on the offensive, but I don't think it's honestly going to happen.
I think England would have to get lucky on the next draw to make a run.
I think they can make a run, dude. I think England can make a run.
It just depends on what England team shows up.
Because it's the same thing. I think it's you go back to
the way the bracket's set up.
Yeah, and he can really put it all together. I feel like I mean it's going to be a fun tournament. It's going to be very interesting. Who are you guys picking?
I got Belgium.
OC?
Group C, Argentina.
You're sticking to your guns, huh, on that one. Dude,
I just want to see Messi win.
Dude, I'm gonna be watching that, and I was like, all this is a conspiracy.
Yeah,
everybody from Group C, they can't even change up the groups.
Watch Mexico or Poland.
Fucking FIFA drawings, man. Next thing I want to get to, man. I don't know if you heard about this.
No.
Roman, what's his name? Roman Abramovich. What do you jail? No, didn't you hear the story that he got poisoned?
What?
Yeah.
No?
Yeah, dude. I saw this the other day too, and I saw that. I was like, dude, I don't know if Drew knows this or not. But yeah, dude, I guess he was one of the participants in the negotiation talks in Kyiv between him and Ukraine. Him and 3 other guys, they all got poisoned. So it was.
Did they get poisoned, or did they just like drink some contaminated water?
No, it was 3 men who suffer from peeling skin on their faces and hands, constant pain, tearful eyes, red eyes, and temporary blindness.
So an attempted assassination. The UK government should be nice to him now and give him back his team.
That's just allergies.
So
peeling skin.
It's the chemical warfare.
The teary eyes.
This guy's doing a lot. He's suffered a lot. You should just give him back his football club.
Yeah, the guy's going through it, man. They're taking his club away. But I mean, he's also a billionaire. I mean,
his $1 billion industry is gone.
That's true. But yeah, dude, I just thought that was interesting, man. How like in like the public eye, like Russia is like,
that's crazy.
We're gonna end these. We want these negotiation talks to end, so we're just gonna poison these dudes, like as if nobody's gonna find out about it. Oh my God. Isn't that insane?
They didn't know that D.O.G. sports podcast would.
We're gonna air it out, man.
Identify you.
Nobody reads the New York Post anymore. Everybody watches this show instead.
Remind me to never drink anything that you provide ever again.
Let's make the transition into the NFL. What did you guys see of all the stuff about Dan Snyder? Since we talk about him so often.
Hey, that dude selling his team?
Well, nothing has come out yet, but
please sell the team. Actually, no, keep the team.
So Congress,
it's good for me.
So Congress is investigating now, allegedly that Dan Snyder was lying about his financial records, and that there were 2 different financial records that were being held at the same time. So the fake one and the real one. So which is considered misleading the shareholders, which is fraud, which is illegal. Yeah. Ooh, so now they finally have So now if
Ryan Howard.
Yeah, so they're doing exactly. So now they have the smoking gun there. They have to do something at this point, right?
Yeah, because he was lying to the people that were invested.
Yeah, and at the same time, this is going on during the other investigation due to the sexual harassment scandals. Remember the new ones that came out.
And to top it all off, Carson Wentz is gonna be their starting quarterback.
Carson,
I love it right now.
Colin Cowherd ranked above Dak. Did you see that?
Yeah.
No way.
He ranked the quarterbacks in the
Oh,
NFC
that's right.
East. This dude put Carson Wentz
over Dak.
I'm like,
he's just doing that
the
because
disrespect.
because
He knows
of
it
what
was
happened
gonna-
in 2016.
and then he'll get ratings out of it. So
Yeah.
That's stupid.
What happened in 2016?
Like, or what year did 18?
17.
18? 17?
when they won the Super Bowl,
Yeah.
right?
Whatever year
Oh,
it was.
17.
Whatever.
Yeah.
Close enough.
Just because Carson Wentz. I mean, if Carson Wentz would have been the guy in the playoffs, do you think they would have won? I think they would have lost.
They would have lost.
Did we talk about that last time? The story that came out like a couple weeks ago about Wentz in the locker room,
where he was being like super selfish. I think we
Yeah.
talked about it on the group message, but not on here.
What did he say? He was MVP. I should play.
No, he was
And
mad.
Big Dick Nick said, "Nah, this is my team now."
Well, basically, he was like
Look at
telling the
me.
guys on the bench, like, oh yeah, like he wasn't happy that they were winning because they were doing it without.
They're
him.
doing it without him. Yeah.
And
What
I
a
guess,
team
like,
player.
Darren Sproles
Makes sense. He's the commander now.
I guess Darren Sproles or somebody else confronted him in the locker room and like in front of
Darren
everybody.
Sproles says, "Hey man, you listen here.
No, I guess there's
We're
like
winning."
there's an altercation like in the locker room.
Hey, dude, talk kinds of shit, dude. Darren Sproles will probably fuck us all up, dude. All three of us at the same time.
Take all of our ankles.
Yeah,
Darren,
dude.
what's the weather like down there?
Yeah, I don't know. You tell me.
He's just
after
like
I
the
put
he's
you
like
on
the
skates.
He's like the guy from Project X where they have the little person in the oven and he pops out and then just hits
Whack
everybody
right
in the nuts.
dick.
That's gonna be Darren Sproles when he shows up and watches this podcast, man.
Yeah, who the hell are
Gonna
these
get
guys?
a very rudely worded email. You guys don't put my name. Smack. Get my name out your mouth.
He's gonna have to walk around with the stepping stool, put it down to get up and slap us. Darren Sproles, if you're watching this match, please don't hit me.
You can
guys.
try to hit me, bro. I'll put it on YouTube.
Okay, I mean, since everybody's talking about it, we're gonna talk about the Will Smith thing or nah?
I'm over it.
You're over it,
Yeah.
huh? It played out kind of fast, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah. Fuck that cuck, dude. I don't like
It's-
that guy anymore. But it's just, dude. It's just he made it all about himself. It's just. I mean, I still think it's fake.
I saw something
Whatever.
last. At first I thought it was fake, and then I thought, nah, this is whatever. I saw something last night. Someone posted all these like different quotes that Jada Smith had, joking about herself going bald, and they were like, if you can joke about yourself, why can't someone else joke about it?
Right.
Especially a comedian.
Yeah.
And so I don't know. It's all a bunch of bullshit.
Yeah, I think so too. But yeah, man, going back to the Dan Snyder stuff. Man, are they finally actually going to go ahead and actually force him to sell the team? Or you guys
I
still
hope
think
he keeps
you
it.
still think somehow it's going to go under the rug and they're just
I hope it goes under the rug.
yeah.
It's good
Or
for
so-
Cowboys.
Maybe the Russians try to poison him or something.
Maybe Young will want out.
Do they do it before the draft or after? I think
I
the
think
process.
I think
too
I think
slow,
it's the process is too slow. I think this isn't. I think this is going to take like maybe a whole year, dude, to like settle. So Washington's gonna it's gonna be the same thing in Washington, dude. I don't think anything's gonna change in that franchise. I feel like the franchise needs to just bite the bullet and then just sell the team.
Did you see that the Washington Nationals and the Washington Wizards kind of have like collaborated on a jersey?
Did they really?
Yeah,
Really?
it's kind of it's like some flowers that I guess you find in Washington. My question was, how come they didn't collaborate with the Commanders? Get all three Washington teams in there.
The Washington Commanders, because they
About
probably
the
have
Senators. You gonna leave the hockey team out? Or my bad, the Capitals.
Senators, come on, man.
Ottawa Senators. Yeah,
Yeah.
I was thinking.
Canadian team.
Oh, is that a Canadian
Washington
team?
Capitals.
Oh man, I feel like I don't know, dude. You think Ron Rivera is actually going to make a difference in that squad
No.
with that team?
You
Or
have
they just
Carson Wentz as your quarterback. Your expectations should be here.
right. And then Chase Young didn't even have that great of a year last year.
They got hurt.
Yeah, that's I guess
When
considered a sophomore slump.
does he have this young mentality and think I'm not playing for you guys? It seems like a lot of these young guys, it's a different mentality. It's like if
Oh,
you don't
and
want,
he was
if
like,
you don't,
get me out of here.
yeah, if you don't want
Yeah.
to be here, you don't have to be here.
Like all those guys from the Jaguars when they
Yeah.
were like, if they played against the Rams, they were like,
Get
get
me
me
the
out of
fuck
here.
outta here.
Get me
There
out
you
of
go.
here.
Good segue.
Yeah.
Bobby Wagner.
Oh, yeah, it's the Rams.
Yeah, man.
What do you guys think about that?
So I think the favorite just keeps going higher and higher and higher.
It's crazy, dude. I feel like Sean McVay is doing the franchise mode in Madden, like
What
a rookie
cap?
mode, dude. Like,
There's no
takes the
cap here.
No salary
Yeah,
cap.
dude. And then he's just making all kinds of trades and moves that we've never seen before, and it's just.
I feel
damn,
like the
dude.
NFL's got to like put like a halt to this because like it happened with all the Brady and the guys they signed there too. Like they keep pushing money back years and years. It's like where's this money gonna end up?
When did
Yeah.
at what point does this team come comparable to that 2017 Warriors that went 73-9 and lost the
and
finals?
lost in the final? Yeah, they lost to
I think it's
LeBron,
a-
right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Defensively, they're there because you got an All-Pro linebacker with Bobby now, probably the best defensive lineman this decade or the past like 10 years with Derek.
I think of all time, dude.
Yeah.
You can argue all the time.
And then
Yeah.
one of the best corners the last 5 years in Jalen Ramsey.
Jalen Ramsey.
So
Yeah.
you got each position, you got a star player.
Yeah.
Like it's ridiculous.
Oh, at each level.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's interesting.
Oh, you can put him up there right now.
Yeah, offensively, I mean they have Cooper Kupp, best, probably the best offensive player in the league right now, and then Matthew Stafford kind of brings it all together. But outside of that, I mean, they still don't really have much of a running game. I mean, I guess they did well enough in the playoffs. And
Hey, they're gonna beat teams 17-7 with that defense.
Yeah.
I mean,
yeah.
they're so tough to beat on paper right now.
So I guess that's all you need in the NFL to win a Super Bowl, just a good quarterback and an awesome defense. Right?
Well, that's what's been proven, right?
Right. Yeah. So that's what they're doing. I mean, look at the Bucks did it the year before.
Mhm.
All they needed was a quarterback and awesome defense, and that's
Yeah.
what they did.
So then Bucks.
Yeah, that's what I was going to
Arians
ask you.
retires, right?
I think they forced him out.
That's exactly what I was gonna say.
But he's
Yeah.
front office now, right?
Yeah, he moved up. I think.
I feel like they demoted him. I feel like they were just, we don't want you to retire, or we don't want to fire you, or whatever.
But why did they force him out?
I think a lot has to do with Brady.
The talk was that
Yeah.
he was like, I don't know if you guys heard his press conference, but he basically said it. He's all my assistants did everything. He's all, I didn't do shit. Like literally. And then the
Was
story,
this before or after Brady retired?
this was like 2 days ago or whenever he
okay.
retired. But there is like stories now that came out yesterday that said like, yeah, he was basically in semi-retirement mode all last year. Like he was showing up.
He was kind of just cruising.
Yeah, his foot was off the gas pedal.
I wonder if Brady told him that he was going to retire.
What do you mean?
That I wonder if Tom Brady told him like before the season started last year, this is it for me.
I don't know. Maybe.
Well, Brady's such a grinder. I don't think he appreciated that Arians.
That Arians is kind of just chilling because I mean he comes from a place too in New England where like
It's all work.
everybody's working because I know you ever heard stories too of Bill Belichick, which is like the entire building will be empty and he'll be like on the treadmill, like taking notes or watching film or whatever, like
He's always working.
at midnight or whatever.
Yeah, so I think that like you guys both say, that played a big factor into what Brady decided, and then ultimately for him to come back. Because apparently, before Brady decided to come back, like he had already known that Bruce was going to end up retiring.
I was gonna say it. Does him coming back?
So
like, did he meet with front office and be like, hey, I'm coming back if
If he
Bruce
So
is
so
gone.
does that kind of change the whole retirement of Tom Brady, where he was just like he never really wanted to retire.
he just
and
wanted
was
a new head coach?
He's
was
like,
just
I'm
mad.
sick of this, and I'm just gonna retire.
Yeah, he's like,
And
this
then-
guy doesn't. He's all, I basically carried the team.
Yeah. So I mean, pretty much. I mean, it's almost like Tom Brady's kind of just like promoting himself. It's just.
Might as well.
I mean, he was pretty much the head coach the year before,
So he's
You know?
he's like
And
LeBron
then-
on the Lakers.
and then now he wants to like, I'm gonna just make owner decisions. Get this guy out of here. You know, because that was the whole point of him leaving New England, right? He wanted a more of a say so in like the roster moves and this and that. Is he fucking becoming like GM, head
Player
coach, and
GM?
quarterback?
Yeah.
Player GM.
Which
He's-
makes sense why Byron Leftwich
Is
and
he
Todd Bowles
is
never
he the
left.
Jackie Moon of the NFL?
Basically,
Jackie Moon.
player,
huh?
coach, GM.
Yeah,
owner.
dude. Jesus Christ.
But like that makes sense as to why Byron Leftwich, the OC, and Todd Bowles, who now took over, like
Yeah.
didn't leave, like because they probably knew what was going to
Yeah.
happen.
Well, isn't that what we talked about too? Is like there's a lot of X's and O's guys who don't make it or who don't do very well as head coach. A head coach is just someone who kind of just puts it all together.
It's a figurehead.
To figure out. Yeah, it's a figurehead.
You're a manager.
Pretty much. You kind of just have to make the administrative moves and then just put the right guys in the right place.
Show up to the conferences.
Exactly. But I mean, if you look at somebody like McVay, Shanahan, LaFleur, those guys pretty much are just offensive coordinators.
Yeah.
And then they just like, okay, everybody else do their thing.
Yeah.
And then, I mean, it's proven to be successful now. Now that's all like they're looking at it. It was like, well, the Bucs are probably like, well, I mean, we don't need them. Like we'll just have Todd Bowles do it, and it'll be it'll be the exact same thing.
Just bounce everything off Tom Brady, make sure that he approves, and then you're good.
And then nothing changes because if Bruce Arians is just there and then he's stepping on everybody's toes, and everybody knows that he's wrong, and then they're just like, okay, now let's just ship this guy out of here. But maybe they just didn't want to fire him. They're like, well, we'll just put you in the front office or whatever, right?
Yeah.
But if he's already like halfway into retirement, why is he even sticking around for front office?
Man, I don't know. Maybe he still wants to get paid. He still wants a salary.
Wants another ring?
Or wants another ring, yeah, because if they win again, he'll get another ring. Yeah, because he'll be part of the organization.
So transition over to the OT rule for playoffs. There it is.
The Josh Allen rule.
I think it's ridiculous, dude. Honestly. I mean,
I wanted it, but now that we got it, I'm just like, I heard the argument.
I didn't want it like that.
Yeah, it's like, dude, like just do it for the whole season. Like that still leaves us with ties. In the regular season.
I think they need to go and adapt the college overtime rules.
Yeah, just do that. One possession, each one gets a possession at the 25. You score.
And you score.
First team does not score.
I feel like they but I mean, because then they're just gonna kick field goals left and right. I say you're just like, you take the field goals out of it. You got to get in the end zone, and then you got to go for 2.
Yeah, go for 2.
Yeah.
Because I think that'll settle it.
That'll settle it. Then there's no, that's not fair, or this isn't fair. A coin toss is going to win us the game.
College got it right.
Like,
except for, is it last year or the year before, Texas, Oklahoma? They went like 7 rounds.
Oh, yeah, LSU and A&M. It was like 83 to 81.
It was crazy.
But that's what I'm saying.
It looks like a basketball.
But
score.
I think if you go to 2-point conversions like right away,
yeah.
like
that was before they made the rule. It was like a 7 overtime game.
Yeah, Jesus Christ. Anything else you guys want to add? I think that's about it.
Baseball season less than a week away.
Shout out to Fresno State men's basketball.
Oh yeah.
How far they make it?
They won their little
the classic
basketball classic championship.
Really,
yes, sir.
Good for them, man.
We went to 3 games.
Yeah. How did you not play in the big tournament, man?
They suck.
They didn't make it. They were good enough. Here's what is it? UEFA domestic.
Yeah.
We won the Farmers League or something.
Yes. Okay. Yeah.
Something.
That's something. Yeah, it's good for that, man.
Hopefully, we can keep a couple of the good players, not lose them. Did you hear though? After they won the semis, the 940 asked him Orlando Robinson if he's got one more in him, and he thought they meant one more year, and they're talking about one more game, and he hesitated. He was like, well, I don't know what my future is.
If he comes back, that'd be nice. It's our best player.
Yeah.
He's going to be in the NBA. But
they called him, in the broadcast yesterday in the championship game, they called him the best 7-footer you've never heard of.
He's like, yeah, Fresno's cool, but I also kind of like money. And what money gets you, know?
Yeah. Duke, North Carolina tonight.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that's tonight. Yeah.
Yeah, Final
that's
Four.
Interesting.
Yeah, their 100th meeting. Duke leads 50-49 in the Coach K era.
Nice.
So,
it's going to be one of the highest rated college basketball games in like the last 15, 20
huge,
years.
Oh, nice.
Huge. Coach K's could be his last game. Could be. I mean, it's his last Final Four game. That's for sure. But to play your rival in a game like this, insane.
It's pretty cool. All right. Well, is that it? You guys are all good or
Go
anything
Giants.
else? Go Giants. You? Go Dogs.
Go Dogs.
Go Dogs, baby.
Go Dogs. You can't say go United because, it's United.
Dude. Don't get me started on that, dude. It's just
that's for another hour.
It's U.S. men's national team. They got third place.
I feel like it's a toxic relationship between me and United right now. It's just
slaps you in the face today.
I cuss them out.
Cuddle with them tomorrow.
At them, but then I just like fuck you. I'll see you tomorrow.
Same time.
Same time
tomorrow.
All right, guys. Well, for you guys watching at home, thank you guys for joining us. We'll see you guys all in the next video. All right,
Peace.
Bye, everybody.